In the autumn of 2020, nearly 500,000 people, most of them young women, went out into the streets to protest against the barbaric decision of the Constitutional Court. These protests took place in nearly 600 cities, towns, and villages and were the largest mass protests in Poland since 1989. But there were, of course, skeptical voices saying that politics are not done in the street, that it's cold and people will get tired and go home. Is this really the case? When we think about history, we see that great social change was usually accomplished in the wake of social movements. The end of apartheid in South Africa, women's suffrage around the world. These changes were possible because people wanted them and fought for them. That's why we decided to record a series of films trying to say what a social movement is, how they work, and when they are successful, and why. Can the world be changed through politics alone? Do you have to be a member of parliament to change something? No. We can act as grassroots activists. Social movements have always been acting for change. Sometimes they oppose change, sometimes they want change. But what are social movements? A social movement is a group of people acting together with a common goal. That goal can be different things. It can be changing the law, changing the social mindset, consciousness. So strategies will be different as well. These strategies and tactics can involve a range of activities, street protests, awareness building, or it can be talking to another person, a theater production, or a piece of art that changes the way we see the world. It can also be lobbying, entering institutions, exerting pressure on people who are responsible for various fields. What matters is that social movements is politics with different means, using different means than being in politics. So it's acting outside the system, but it's also pressuring the authorities to represent our interests, because the authorities do anything because with the consent of citizens, we support the authorities and give it legitimacy. If we take back our support, the authorities cannot continue to function. What people in social movements have in common is not just a shared goal, but also emotions. One basis for change is the belief that there's something wrong and unjust about the world. Changing reality, changing the world, also means changing the way we see the world. That's why social movements build and promote something that we can call a framework to see reality. It's like the frame of a picture that shows an element, leaving other things outside the frame, or paying less attention to those other things. It gives us the sense that we understand a part of reality. Just like anti-abortion movements seek to introduce a framework saying that abortion is morally wrong, or that it hurts women. Women's movements, based on the experience of women themselves, say that abortion can be a relief, that it's a right, that it's a choice, that it's something that woman herself decides about because it's her life and her body. This framework is a very important way of changing reality. Our effectiveness in constructing these frameworks and convincing people that this framework is the right one can determine the success or failure of a social movement.